Hi everyone, I'm Kim, and today I'm doing some different crafting. I made these little reindeer for a harvest festival we had them for sale for $35 a piece. I've got the baby ones, and then I'll show you the mom and the dad in just a second. But I also had these ghosty just pillars that I had on the front porch. And I'm going to transform these now into snowmen for Christmas or the winter holidays. And what I'm going to do is do that on this side so that in next year I can just rotate them when it's Halloween and then rotate them this way when it's Christmas. So these are the little babies, kind of like Rudolph. And then I'm going to grab the mom. The mom looks like this. You see that? And she's much taller. Let me see if you can see. She's much taller. And then I'll grab the dad. And here's the dad. Well, he's so tall. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so there's the dad. There's the mom. And there are the little babies. Okay, so today what I'm doing though, I'm going to turn these ghosty guys into snowmen for my front porch. Let's see. Okay. So these are the guys that I'm working on today. And I'm going to lay out some paper and work here. I don't have a studio, so I just work wherever I have room. And I usually just use butcher paper as my mat for painting. And I do this with flower pots too on my fence. I decorate them for like Halloween, and then the other side is like just fall. So after Halloween I turn it for Thanksgiving to a fall theme, and then I have new ones for Christmas. Okay, so I've got black, red, orange, and pink. Let's see. So first I'm going to sketch a little face. And I think I'm going to do his hat out of fabric. Still thinking about that because it rains a lot here. So I don't know. I guess I could do black like here. I think I will do black here, like his hat, and then I can make a rim out of like a milk jug or something. Let me see if I can point the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Let me move the mic back a little bit. So I'm just making a line, kind of sketching what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint this black to be his top hat, kind of like Frosty. And then I think I'll just do like a round eye here. And a round eye here. Try to make them kind of even. Oops. This side's much more ridgy. It's going to be a little different. And then the nose, of course, is a carrot nose. And I might even have my husband cut me a piece of wood to be that. But for right now, I'll have it be like this. Because I think it would be, more three-dimensional, give it some interest if it was a piece of wood that stuck out. And then I'll have the coal, I think, mouth. It's a little hard to sketch it on here because the wood is very ridgy. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I need about 4 more here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is just to give me an idea. So we'll start with that one. And then I'm using my very expensive paint mixing tools. And I'll, of course, do some pink blush on his face for his cheeks. But I think I'll start with the nose because I think a snowman, his nose is kind of like the most important thing, or at least to me. And I just use these cheap little acrylic paints and put a little teeny bit in the cup, just in case I want to lighten it or darken it. And then I just start painting. You could kind of erase a little bit of the pencil marking just to make it lighter, because now I'll have to either outline it in black or go over it a couple times, which is okay, just to cover the pencil marking. Can you see what I'm doing? It's super simple, and this is something you could do with your kids. I have a grandbaby, and I have her do stuff that maybe most people might think she's too young for. She helped me make some Christmas ornaments the other day, and she really did push down on the cookie cutter, and she rolled out the dough, which was homemade dough. It was just salt dough, which is essentially just flour and salt and a little bit of water. And we use it like Play-Doh, and we can put coloring in it, so I did. So I have a couple colors for her here to play with. And so I'm going to let that dry, and then I will kind of make it more, you know, like a carrot, make more kind of bumps. I was going to let it dry so that it covers up the pencil marking though. But you know what I mean. Like that. So I don't know if you can see that. That's just to start. And then the eyes will be black. Let me rinse out my brush. Or I'll just put it in here, my water. These are just really inexpensive brushes. You can get them for like, I don't know, 10 of them for $10 at the art supply store. Sometimes I get nice ones, but it's like if I'm doing something more in depth, more difficult. I do have some little palettes, but I already put those way downstairs and I didn't want to go dig them out. So I'm just putting a little bit of black in here. I'll probably have to add more. You see that? And then this will be for his eyes. And you could make, you know, him more expressive if you wanted by doing different eyes. Kind of like when I did the ghosts. You can use different eye shapes to create an expression. The one good thing about getting more expensive brushes is that the bristles aren't all wonky. You know, these are kind of wonky. I don't know if you can see that, but they are. And I thought this would just be fun to put on the porch, you know, just a decoration. Another thing I want to do is, a couple of years ago we did, or maybe it was last year, we did Sesame Street themed Halloween. And so we had this really cool street sign that said Sesame Street. And I'm thinking that turning that into North Pole. And you kind of have to look at it to see if they look about the same. And one's bigger than the other. Let's see if you can see that. So when I put it out on the porch, I'll put it like this, and then you won't see the ghosty face. But this is just like a piece of firewood that I painted white and then did this brush is impossible. I'm going to use a different brush. So sometimes it's worth spending a little extra money to get decent brushes. But to me it's very relaxing to just sit and paint. I just think it's fun. And they don't all have to be, on this, they don't all have to be the same shape, but similar. You know, because if you had a lump of coal, they wouldn't all be the same shape or same size. But you want them to be somewhat similar. Maybe I should have the camcorder behind me so you could see better what I'm doing. But I'm just making little circles. In this one, at least, you don't have to worry about the pencil markings because the black will cover that up. And then I'm going to put a scarf on him, like a little piece of fabric. This side of the wood is very ridgy, so it's very difficult to get them pretty similar. You can see that. But now I'm going to do his little hat, and I need a bigger brush for that. So put these in water. These are Home Depot brushes. Let's see, it's just an inexpensive Home Depot brush. And I'm going to need more paint for this part. But you can see it's super simple. And my point is that you can make Christmas decorations just out of firewood, or you could even use some rocks. I have some rocks I'm going to paint. I'm going to probably paint them into mushrooms or gnomes or something like that. And then put those out in my garden so people can walk by and see them. And people get a kick out of that. And I just want to keep it on one side so that I can use the other side for the ghost. I don't know if you can see what a thick ridge there is here. I'll show you in a sec. Up close. Maybe just right here. See if that'll hold it. Maybe not. Okay, so can you see the very, I don't know if you can see that ridge in this log. So there's one, and then I'll put I think I'll cut out some kind of a circle that fits down here, a black one, and that has a flat top to make it look like a hat, like a top hat. And then I'll make a scarf, and I'll show you when I'm finished. So I think it's kind of cute, and you can see I'm not done with it yet, but it's already kind of cute. And what did it cost? Just a piece of firewood and some paint. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me turn this up. So I will show you when I'm finished with him, but at least now you have kind of the idea. And you can see how easy it is to make things at home, and you can include your kids and not spend a lot of money to decorate your yard. Like the reindeer we made, my husband just took some wood that he had around the house, and he cut it and made the shapes, and then I painted them and made the scarves and decorated them. And it's easy to make, you know, little homemade crafts that can decorate your house or your yard and be inexpensive and fun. So I hope you'll give it a try, and I'm going to come back when I'm done and show you what he looks like all finished, okay, in a little while.